What if I told you that today, most people are living in a state of quiet defeat? It's not from a lack of talent, but from a lack of mental fortitude. We scroll, we compare, we feel envy, and then we're left wondering why we feel so stuck, weak, or lost. We pursue comfort, yet feel drained. We evade pain, yet endure suffering every day. The harsh truth is this: comfort is slowly killing us, while struggle, though difficult, contains the seed of true power. But here is the twist. This is something the ancient Stoics understood long before the age of smartphones, social media, or self-help gurus. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, once stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That isn't just a quote, it's a weapon, a mindset, and a way to live amidst chaos while remaining unshaken. Stoicism doesn't promise an easy life. It makes you unstoppable. In this video, we will dive deep into 8 brutal Stoic laws that will compel you to level up mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This isn't inspirational fluff. It's real talk for real change. Each of these laws is sourced from raw Stoic wisdom, battle-tested in ancient Rome, and remains painfully relevant in our modern world. Before we start, I need you to do one thing. If you are serious about your growth, don't just lean back and watch this as if it's another motivational clip. This is not background noise. This is your wake-up call. Like this video, this instant, drop comments as we proceed, especially when a point truly hits home. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And most importantly, do not skip any part. Missing even one law could cost you clarity or courage when it matters most. Let's begin. Number 1. Embrace discomfort like a friend. We have been conditioned to flee from pain. But the Stoics advocated for the opposite. Run towards it with your eyes wide open. Reflect on your most significant moments of growth. Did they occur when you were comfortable, relaxed, and everything was going smoothly? Or did they happen when life struck you hard, forcing you to choose between rising up or staying broken? Marcus Aurelius contended with wars, betrayal, and illness, yet he led with a calm demeanor. He didn't sidestep discomfort, he welcomed it to mold him. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way, wrote Marcus Aurelius. That isn't poetic fluff. That is law. Every obstacle is a chance to hone your will, every delay a test of your patience, every rejection a lesson in resilience. Modern life advises us to avoid pain. Stoicism whispers back, train for it. That cold shower is a test. That difficult conversation is a path. That gym session, when you feel exhausted, that is where character is forged. The Stoics believed that by willingly choosing controlled discomfort, you prepare yourself for the chaos of life. So, when the storm finally hits, you are already built for it. Seneca, another Stoic, would practice sleeping on the floor, eating the plainest food, and wearing old clothes not from self-loathing, but for self-training. Inevitably strips away your comfort. You are not in shock. You are prepared. And here is the reality. Discomfort is not your adversary, it's your mirror. It reveals who you truly are, and more importantly, who you are capable of becoming. We evade small pains today only to face greater suffering tomorrow. But if you lean into it, walking through that fire with awareness, something incredible occurs. You cease to fear the pain, and that is where freedom begins. From this moment on, view discomfort as a sparring partner. It may leave you bruised, but it is building you up. Choose one small discomfort today and face it without debate. A cold shower, a deep conversation, sitting with boredom. Remind yourself this is how warriors are made, because the only way to become unstoppable is to stop running. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. Discomfort is my training ground. Number 2, stop being owned by your emotions. How frequently do your emotions dictate your day? Someone makes a rude comment and you lose your temper. Plans fall through and your entire mood sours. You feel lazy, so you skip your workout, your work, your discipline. This isn't just you, it's all of us. But the brutal reality is this: if your emotions rule you, you are their slave. The Stoics believed that emotional slavery is worse than physical chains. Epictetus, a former slave who became a Stoic teacher, said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master." They can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by them. Let that truly sink in. The person who cut you off in traffic, you just surrendered your peace to them. That breakup, you handed it your identity. That one rude online comment, you gave it your joy. You see, Stoicism doesn't tell you to suppress your emotions. It teaches you to observe them, understand them, and then respond instead of reacting. The difference between a child and a Stoic. The child has a tantrum. The Stoic sits within the storm and thinks. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man of his era, wrote in his private journal, later known as Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That is a level of control we seldom discuss, the power to remain unshaken by things that don't deserve our energy. And yes, it's brutal because it means you can no longer blame others. You can't say, "He made me angry" or "She ruined my day." You come to realize it's all on you. That reaction was your choice. But here is the empowering part. You can choose differently. You don't have to be a slave to your feelings. You can experience anger without acting on it. You can feel fear and still take action. You can feel sadness without being consumed by it. That is emotional strength. That is Stoic freedom. Try this. The next time you feel triggered, pause. Don't act, breathe. Ask, is this feeling serving me right now? Respond with intention. This isn't about being robotic. It's about being in control. When you stop being owned by your emotions, you become clear, calm, and powerful. You show up steady, and people take notice. You're no longer pushed around by every little thing. You are grounded. In today's emotionally chaotic world, that kind of stability is rare, magnetic, and unstoppable. Real growth starts when you stop being the puppet and become the master. Number 3, stop. Expecting fairness life owes you absolutely nothing. One of the quickest routes to suffering is expecting life to be fair. Let that settle in for a moment. You work tirelessly, and someone less dedicated gets the promotion. You love with all your heart, and they leave. You do what's right and still face punishment. And then the anger surfaces. This isn't fair. But here is the Stoic truth. Fairness is a myth we invent, not a law of the universe. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You can commit injustice by doing nothing." Even as the emperor of Rome, he witnessed injustice daily. But instead of complaining, blaming, or spiraling, he anchored himself in one firm belief. Life is not about fairness. It is about strength. The Stoics never anticipated that life would treat them with kindness. They expected pain, loss, betrayal, and change. And because they expected it, they were prepared for it. Let's be brutally honest. Fairness is a lovely concept, but clinging to it too tightly can make you weak. When we declare, "This isn't fair," we are often really saying, "I dislike how this feels, and I don't want to handle it." But here is the law. You don't grow by demanding fairness. You grow by confronting reality and moving forward regardless. Look around you. Bad things occur to good people. Evil people sometimes triumph. Effort does not always guarantee reward. This isn't pessimism, it's life. Now, here's what distinguishes the average person from the unstoppable one. The average person awaits fairness. The Stoic builds such immense inner power that nothing external can shatter them. This doesn't mean you turn cold or heartless. It means you stop waiting for the world to treat you well and start treating yourself well, no matter how the world acts. Seneca once said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage, especially when life appears unfair." So here's what you do. Instead of complaining, use the pain as fuel. Build skills so formidable they cannot be overlooked. Love deeply without expectation. Face betrayal and continue forward with dignity. The Stoic approach is one of radical responsibility, not because it's always your fault, but because it's always your move. You don't get to control the hits life throws, but you always control your response. And that grounded, calm, warrior-like response is what makes you unstoppable. Fairness is not a promise, but freedom is earned, one powerful choice at a time. Number 4, focus on what you can control. Let it go. Epictetus put it simply, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Then they wonder why they feel anxious, powerless, and angry. Everything else opinions, chance, uncertainty is not. You can't control the weather, but you can control your attire. You can't control the economy, but you can control how much you learn, how you manage your finances, and how you prepare. This shift in focus is immense. It hands you back your power, instead of being scattered by things you can't influence. You stand strong, centered in your own actions. Imagine being in a storm at sea. The Stoic doesn't yell at the wind. It's about choosing what deserves your attention. And 90% of what people worry about is completely outside their control. Here's a simple practice. Every time you feel stressed, ask yourself, is this within my control? If yes, act. If no, let it go. It's simple but not easy. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you live by this, people notice you become unshakable, not because you control everything, but because you control yourself, no matter what happens. Number 5, practice voluntary hardship to build unbreakable willing, a world addicted to comfort. Discipline becomes a superpower. The Stoics didn't wait for life's challenges, not to punish, but to prepare. Seneca once wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days." This was voluntary hardship, a chosen moment of discomfort to forge a mind that wouldn't crack under pressure. Now consider this. Most people today avoid discomfort at all costs. They never skip a meal, never sit in silence, never go without. Convenience. But what happens when life inevitably gets hard? They break, they panic, they blame. They've practiced hunger, fatigue, rejection, and boredom. This doesn't make them invincible, but it makes them adaptable. You don't build willpower by watching motivational videos. You build it by intentionally doing the thing you don't want to do. A luxury you can afford just to sharpen your self-restraint. It's waking up early to train when your body begs for more sleep. These small choices accumulate. Over time, you become dangerous not because you're cruel to yourself, but because you understand the truth. Comfort doesn't make you stronger. Challenge does. And when hardship arrives, as it always does, you don't run. You smile because you have already walked through fire. By choice, Marcus Aurelius ruled during plagues, wars, and betrayals, yet he wrote with calm clarity. Why? Because hardship wasn't a shock to him. It was expected. And when hardship is expected, it loses its ability to paralyze you. Because one day, life will throw more at you than you believe you can handle. And when it does, you will rise. Number 6, detach from outcomes. Fall in love with the process. We are taught to obsess over results. Get the job, win the deal, hit the goal, earn the money, be admired. Stoicism flips this script because the result is never certain, but your effort is always within your control. Epictetus stated, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." When you are attached to results, you set yourself up for suffering. You go to the gym for a week, see no abs, and quit. You love someone, they leave, and you collapse. But what if instead you fell in love with the work itself? The showing up, the writing, the building, the thinking, the learning, the effort. That is the Stoic path. When you focus on the process, you always win, even if the result isn't what you hoped for. And here's the irony. When you release your need for a specific outcome, you often start achieving more. You're no longer desperate or emotional, no longer driven by validation. You are grounded in action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never let the future disturb you." You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you. Against the present, in other words, stop obsessing over what might happen and just work your process with courage right now. If you are a writer, write not to go viral, but to sharpen your mind. Your self-worth to outcomes. You become fragile. The moment you link it to discipline, intention, and focus, you become unstoppable. Here is a Stoic mindset shift. Show up as if the result is already decided and you are simply enjoying the craft. Whether you succeed or fail is a bonus. You've already won because you did the work. Number 7, embrace. The Stoics, however, meditated on death not to be morbid, but to awaken. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." That is not fear, that is freedom. Every moment wasted is a moment lost forever. Let that truly hit you. You don't have the luxury of waiting for someday. The Stoics practiced something called memento mori. Remember, you will die. They said it not to be grim, but to stay focused, present, and intentional. When you truly grasp that your time is limited, you stop wasting it. You stop scrolling for hours, arguing over trivial matters, and tolerating mediocrity. Creating loving and moving now, not later. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." You may not control your lifespan, but you do control how deeply you live. And the most dangerous lie is this: there's plenty of time. No, there isn't. That risk you keep avoiding, that business you keep postponing, that person you mean to forgive, that change you'll make next year, this is your moment. This is your time. The Stoic doesn't ignore death. The person who truly remembers death speaks with truth, loves openly, works with urgency, lets go of ego, and stops fearing failure. Because the ultimate failure is a wasted life. You feel it. Number 8. Be a warrior for virtue, not approval, let's be honest. Most people live for likes, praise, and attention. But the Stoic doesn't act for the crowd. The Stoic acts for virtue. Marcus Aurelius said, "Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter." In other words, live with honor even if no one is watching. Speak the truth even if no one applauds. Keep your word even if it comes at a cost. Train hard even when you are alone. That is virtue. That is what builds a soul that cannot be bought. It's not about perfection. It's about principle. Now, here is the hard part. Doing the right thing is often the difficult thing. It is easier to lie, to impress rather than be authentic, to chase approval rather than stand alone. But every time you choose what is right over what is easy, you sharpen your edge. You become someone your future self can look up to. You build an identity that no one can ever take away. Seneca reminds us, "I will govern my life and thoughts as if the whole world were to see the one and read the other." That is power. That is a life that does not crumble under pressure because it is built on integrity. In a world of image, the Stoic is real. In a world of noise, the Stoic is still. In a world of performance, the Stoic is genuine. Do you want to be unstoppable? Don't live for praise. Live for your values. Live in a way that, even if stripped of status, money, and followers, you would still stand tall. Because the moment you no longer need the crowd, you become the kind of person they follow anyway. Be a warrior for what is right, not what is popular. And even if you must walk alone, walk as if it's the only path that matters. If you have made it this far, it means something deep within you is prepared to evolve to leave behind the weakness, the distractions, and the emotional chaos and step into something greater. Not perfection, but power. Not domination over others, but mastery over yourself. That is the Stoic path. It doesn't promise comfort. It promises clarity, direction, and a life of meaning, even when the world around you falls apart. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus didn't write for an easy world. They wrote to endure storms, battles, betrayals, and death with dignity. They taught us that real strength isn't found in muscles or money. It's in the man who keeps his word, the woman who faces fear without flinching, the soul who does the right thing, especially when it's hard. You don't need to wait for motivation or the perfect moment. You just need to begin right now. Train your mind, expect struggle, detach from outcomes, uphold your principles, and live like your time is running out, because it is. And the beautiful part, you don't need applause, praise, or anyone's understanding. When you walk the Stoic path, you become unshakable from within. That kind of strength is rare. It's real, and it's yours for the taking. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I am becoming unshakable day by day. Now, if this message resonated, if something inside you lit up, if you felt a spark of truth, do not keep it to yourself. Like the video, comment your favorite law, share this with someone on their own journey, and make sure to subscribe. We are building a community of thinkers, warriors, and real ones who want more than just noise, who want to live with purpose. And remember, don't skip any parts of your life. It's all training. It's all transformation. Keep showing up, keep choosing strength, and don't stop until you become unstoppable.